This is a story told to me by another taxi driver. It was late at night and he'd been called out to an address, and it was really dark and dingy, except for a tiny light in the basement. And he was looking, thinking, it's a bit dodgy around here, shall I just drive off? But he'd known that there was too many vulnerable people that needed his assistance. So he bravely walked out and ratty-tat-tat knocked on the door. And he heard a little tiny voice saying, "Hold on a minute." And then he heard something being dragged across the floor and the door opened, and there was a tiny, frail old woman. And he looked around and there was sheets over the furniture. There was no clocks or anything on the wall, just a box in the corner with some photos and other stuff. He picked up the suitcase, took the lady by the arm and walked her out as she closed the door. "Thank you, thank you, thank you," she was saying. "Oh, you're so kind." Took her to the car, got her inside the taxi and put a suitcase in the boot. "Where to?" And she gave him the address and he started driving. She said, "Oh, can you go round this way?" And he said, that's not the right way, that's a long way round." She said, "I know, I'm going into a hospice." "I just wanted to see a few things first. Is that okay? I've got no family." The taxi driver decided to take her route. They drove past an old furniture shop where he stopped, and she said, "That used to be a ballroom. I used to dance there as a young girl." Took her to a building where she said that she used to work, and to a church where she married her husband. The taxi driver switched off the meter. They drove around for hours, stopping in places, and she told him stories. Sometimes she just stared into the darkness, and as the sun come up she said, "That's enough, take me." And he drove her to the hospice, in underneath an arch. The light was on and two nurses came out. They took the old woman out of the car. The taxi driver went to get the suitcase. By the time he had got up to the door, they already had her in a wheelchair. He put the suitcase down on the floor, and the old lady said, "How much?" And the taxi driver man said, "No, it's all right, love." She said, "No, you got to make a living." He said, "No, there's other passengers." And he bent down and gave her a really big hug. And she just said, "Thank you. Thank you for showing me all those things." And the taxi driver man walked off, and he turned around and the door was shut. And he got back into his taxi and he just started driving around. He said, he thought to himself, great events, great moments happen in your life sometimes, and they're just so unexpected.